Hi, this video will provide you an introduction to the DataRobot Agentic Playground. To get started, I'm going to start on the DataRobot main page, and then I'm going to go over to the workbench. I've already got a use case created here, but if you would like to create a new one and start from there, you can do that. But I'm going to go in here, and I've got a use case that already has some playgrounds and some assets in here already, but I'm going to create a new playground or an agentic playground. You can also create a RAG playground, but I'm going to do agentic here. You can also select it from the side over here. So I'm going to connect it to an agentic workflow that I added with uh, our DataRobot agentic workflow templates that's available on GitHub. But I'm going to connect a workflow here, and I've got several that I've deployed here. And I connect this and select connect. And so what that'll do is that'll connect me to the agentic workflow that I've already created and deployed into here. And if you want to learn how to do that, we do have another video on how to do that. So what I'm going to do, I've created this agent to do some research for me on whatever topic I put in here. So this agent has already been prompted or already been supplied with a workflow, some context. It's a multi-agent workflow. All I have to do is provide it with the subject. And so what I'm going to tell it to do some research on is a agentic developments 6, and it's going to go off and do that. And so now I've got a response back from this agent. It's provided me with a blog post that I can paste on wherever I want to put it, but it's provided me a blog post on the subject that I asked it to research on, which was agentic developments anticipated in 2026. So this is a single agent response. So we've tested this. We can also look at the tracing of the agent here and see what it did and how long it took for each section. We can look and see which model it used, this is actually going through our LLM gateway, but it was using Gemini 2.5 Flash. And we can see all of the steps that the agent has gone through. So now what I want to do, I'm going to go back into the main part of the playground. So I've only got one agent in here, so I can checkbox that. And what if I want to add another one? So what I would do to add another one, I would click on Connect Agentic Workflow and select another one from this list. And I'm going to just add this one in here and connect that. And so we'll get another one in here. We'll get another single agent chat window. But I want to go back into the playground and compare these two. So we'll have two side by side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot to another playground that I've got 3 of these set up, and I'll show you how to do tracing, set up some metrics and things like that. So now I'm going to go back into my main menu here, and I've got another playground here. So I've got 3 of these already loaded in here. I'm going to select all 3. And so what I can do is I can ask the same question to all 3 of them, gauge responses, gauge response times, look at tracing. If I've got MCPs in here, I can utilize agents that have MCPs and call external tools. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to say, tell me about AI in 2025. So I'm going to send that to all 3 of those. So this is going to go to 3 different agents. It's going to be configured in different ways. Some can be single agent, multi-agent, different types of workflows, even different frameworks. So we can connect to multiple agents and compare the outputs, the formatting, and whatnot. And now we've got responses back from all 3. So we've got 2 formatted here, and this one didn't look like it did so well. So we're going to give that a thumbs down. And so we can rate these all for positive or negative feedback. But now I want to start drilling down into these agents and kind of review tracing. So I can go in here and I can look at this agent run end to end and see what it did and in a timeline. So I can also look at this as a list and look at all the data here. But I can see when these agents executed, when it finished, when it handed off to the next one, and then when it does the final output. So I can get a chart view and a list view of this agent's execution from end to end. And now what I want to do is start evaluating some of these models, so some of these agents. So before I do that, I've uploaded a evaluation data set, which I created based on the instructions that are located here on our website, our document site. So you click on agent or agentic AI, evaluate agentic workflows, you evaluate metrics. You want to go down here in where it talks about agentic evaluation data set example. So this is the format that you'll need to create that in. So you can either copy this and use it as a sample, or what I like to do is I'll copy this and I'll paste it into an LLM like ChatGPT or Cloud or a Gemini and say, I've got this agent, it does this, or you can give a sample of your agent's code, you put it in there and say, I need evaluation data set based on this schema. So it'll spit that out, and then you can save that as a CSV, upload it into DataRobot and use that as an evaluation data set. I've already done that to save some time because it runs a bunch of jobs to do some evaluations. All right, I've got a new agentic workflow in a playground. And what I want to do is configure some metrics here. So what I'm going to do to do that is click on evaluation and click on playground metrics. I'm going to add an evaluation data set, click on this one. So when I've got generated, and so this is the format that it takes. And if you want to, you can go to our website. If you click on Agentic AI from our main page and click on the evaluate agentic workflow and then evaluate metrics. Scroll down here about half of the page down, and you'll find a sample data set. And what you can do is copy this and put it in a spreadsheet, and you can modify the questions, the output, and tune it towards your workflow to kind of grade the outcome. So what I did is I've already uploaded a sample data set that I created, and I'm going to map these columns here. So we need to map the prompt column name, the response, the target column name, the reference goals column name, and the reference tool calls column name. And so what I'm going to do is I'll map those to these. We do have some autocomplete. So prompt text is the prompt column name, and response is the expected response. Reference goals is agent goal. And then tool calls is the last one. There we go. And I'm going to add that data set. I'm going to configure metrics. So I've got agent goal accuracy and tool call accuracy. I'm going to add this, and I'm going to select an LLM to do the evaluation. So this OpenAI GPT-4o mini model is going to be doing the evaluation of the model, and then tool call accuracy. And I want to do an exact match. And I'm going to add that. So we've added these two in here. I'm going to save the configuration, and I'm going to go back into Agentic Playground, and I'm going to configure aggregation. And so I've got these two metrics created, and I'm going to select an average for the aggregate, which is the only one available here. Select this evaluation data set, and I'm going to generate metrics. And so what this is going to do is going to launch 8 different questions into this workflow, and then provide um, some response grading criteria based on those two metrics. So I'm going to pause, and I'll come back when those are done, or when the job is done and the evaluations are done, and I will show you the results. And now I've got the completed aggregated metrics job that I created by configuring aggregation and setting my aggregation level for those two metrics that I created for the playground. And I've got some metrics generated. And so it looks like that the evaluating LLM didn't like the results here. So I may want to check my expected answers or expected outcomes and my tool call accuracy. So this is how you will generate the metrics. So now I can go back into the playground and do this same thing. If I want to add another agentic workflow in here, I can just grab this one, connect that, and into the playground here, and I can do up to 3. So I'm just going to do side by side. I'm going to configure aggregation and have it ask those same questions to 2 different models, or sorry, 2 different workflows and same data set. And I'm going to use those two workflows, and I will generate metrics. And so this is going to do the same thing side by side with those two agentic workflows. And so what I'll do now is I'm going to pivot over to another screen and show you what this looks like with something that's got a bit more of these added, some different metrics for different LLMs in a different use case. So I will pivot to that and I'll be right back. All right, as you can see, we have a kind of a bit of a more in-depth use case created here. This is a sample, kind of a demo data set that we've created in our demo environment. This is a fictional customer that we've actually created some workflows for that. So we've already got some goal accuracy run. We've got some costs associated with this, a PII detection, and so this will kind of give us some grading criteria as to whether or not we want to move this in production or what we want to do some changes on here. So this will, again, we can run all of these evaluation metrics for each of these workflows. And so this was done by configuring aggregation and then running the metrics here. And so we did these same process that you saw previously for just one. We could run these for three side by side. And so that's kind of um, how we are able to generate and evaluate agent workflows in our playground. And then from this point, what we do is we decide which one to go into production, and we'll cover that in another video. So that concludes our video on the introduction to our agentic playground.